playing in the red zone, backed up, offense got out, goal was to get first down. So there was some back and forth today. Transitioning, what I do think, and it's not probably that important to you guys, but how our scouts and how we operate, how we get out there and we get lined up, just actually paying attention in meetings and applying it to the field. I think our guys do a good job of that. That matters. That saves us time and it lets us know that we're actually dialed in meetings and paying attention.
When we pulled up, we noticed that Tyler was riding around on the bike. Did he do anything significant today?
Oh yeah, he had a turnover. Yeah, he had a turnover for a touchdown. So he got the bike, and you know that's you guys. I think there's a story on the bike and all that, so you guys have seen it. But yeah, he had a pick for a touchdown today. I think that was the one turnover he had, and then there was a couple others the defense had. So they were flying around. Defense is flying around the ball, which is what you want. If you're doing that, usually good things happen. If it's a tip ball, his was clean. He drove on it. It was a clean pick for a score, no question about it. So he got the chaos spike today.
From the last scrimmage to this one, what do you guys think made your biggest strides?
Situational stuff. Yeah, I think we focus on red zone, and that's probably an area too. These situations, you just don't get as many, and so we got to maximize all those reps. I thought the red zone was decent today. It was good to get 2-minute live and get some of that work in. Good to get some backed up work, which doesn't come up very often. And then special teams. Today the reps that we got in special teams, they were full speed reps. It wasn't live tackling, but we were moving. So the return team got some work, punt team got some work. All specialists, so Joel and Hayden both were perfect. I think Joel was 3 for 3 and Hayden was 4 for 4 on field goals, and Joel kicked a 52-yarder and made that, split it, easy with the distance. So operation-wise that way, with just our specialists, really good.
With when Sed came in, it was pretty obvious to you guys that he was going to be pretty able to contribute, pretty early in fall camp. I mean, we've been hearing a lot about John Hightower. I mean, not to compare him, but is he at the point where you guys are expecting him to have a pretty big role for you?
No, he's not where Sed's at right now. Sed, John's got some work to do. He knows that, and I thought Sed, his mindset, how he came in here. John's done a good job, and it's not a knock on John. Just Sed was a really good player, and John's got a ways to go. And luckily, we got some time to keep doing that. I thought he did well today. He got the ball in his hands. He had a big play out there. We had a penalty on it, got called back, but he's doing some things. He's making some really good catches. He's more comfortable in the offense. He knows where to line up. He knows how to come off the ball. He knows how to go up and get it. So he's got those abilities to do that. He's got to get some more reps at it. And John came in a little bit later too. Sed had a little bit more work than John did. So, and the one thing about Cedric, and I think Leighton as well, those guys were just film junkies. They're always in there watching tape, and I think that goes underrated at times. A guy can play and all that, but guys are in there studying. Your Austin Pettises of the world, your Cedric Wilsons, those guys are in there just grinding on tape. And you want to take that next step, you got to do that. So any position, and all those guys, wide receiver, they do a good job in their meetings, but any position on our team, you want to take the next step. You got to get in there on your own. You got to watch tape. And that's where I think guys on our team, some of our veteran guys do a pretty good job. Some of our younger players, you want to be successful, get in there and do the work on the film, and make sure that it is purposeful, and you come out of there a lot better mentally, so you can go out there and practice faster.
Might you use 2 kickers when it comes to the field goals? I mean, Joel seems like
sure.
He's been a kickoff guy, and you mentioned he hit long one. It makes sense maybe he could be your long field kicker. Might you be able to?
He was that way last year. We had him on the ready for some of those kicks and all that, so that's no different. He'll be out there. We got a long one we got to go out there and make. I think Hayden's capable of it. Joel can make a longer distance field goal, so he's certainly capable of doing that. I thought he kicked really well tonight too. Hayden was on point, and we know he was pretty good last year. Did a good job. Joel was really good today. I thought Nick Pittman, just the operation, short snap, all those things like that. He was really good.
We talked to Garrett Cunningham a little bit earlier this week, and in terms of his kind of selflessness to find, to continue to be willing to accept new roles on the team, and just his commitment to find a way to contribute. I mean, is he a pretty unique guy? I mean, is there any guy in the past that you remember that's kind of like him that just continues to try to find a way on the field?
Yeah, we've had guys like him. We're trying to find a way to get him on the field. And he was a quarterback in high school, and he was a receiver, and then he's a stud. Now he's a tight end. The thing about Garrett is whatever we've decided is best for our team, he's been all about that. And I think he's done a good job. He's going to be a good tight end for us. He's still, under repped. And that's really what it is. I think he's got the physical tools. I think he's got the mentality. He's just under repped. He just hasn't had those reps that some of the guys in front of him had, like Jake Rowe and some of the guys that came in to play that position. But he works hard at it. That room, talking about film, I mean, in our offense, you better be in the film room. If you're not in there every chance you get, we're just not going to be very good at tight end. And I think he understands that better, just now being in it and getting the reps and understanding what it really takes to be a successful tight end in our system. And he's starting to show that. This next week, we get a little more game plan and all this offense that we put in. We put a lot in. Now that starts to tighten down and we can specialize a little bit with some of the positions. That's going to help us, and that's going to help him too. And when he's out there and he knows where he's going, everything's clean, crisp. The guy can go snatch the ball. He can go make plays. He can run. He's a target for the quarterbacks. They really like him. So we'll see how things clean up next week when we simplify a little bit.
How's the offensive line?
Good. Yeah, I think they've all been good. That's one group there, been pretty consistent. I think the mentality of that group is good. It's where we want it to be right now. We've been mixing some guys up because we know, still, I go back, I don't know what year it is, but we had all those combinations. That just sticks with me. 10 or 11 different combinations. So I can never get that out of my head. So we're always kind of mixing and matching guys. We've been pretty consistent through the camp, but we're still moving some guys around, getting a few young guys in there. Kay Connie, one of our freshmen, he's actually got in there with the twos and worked a little bit at center. Modern day, good football player, got a lot of reps, and it's still different. That position, O-line, D-line, it's all about strength, especially when you're a young guy. Technique's great, but you got to be stronger. You're just going against different dudes up front. But those guys have been good. They come out each day. Our D-line is good. So when they're going against those guys, they're making them better. And if they can handle the D-line at times, then they're doing a pretty good job.
You mentioned not where you want to be at this point. I know coach would probably say everything's
sure
ready to go, but what are the areas in the next 2 weeks you guys need to shore up here?
Well, I want to see. I know what some of our veteran players are going to do in their preparation habits and all that. When we get into school and you start to add in your 12 credits, 15 credits, we need to watch more film. We need to be a smarter football team. We need to be better prepared. We need to come out to practice and start faster. I think some things have been solid that way, but that's what I mean. Just with our team, the plays, the execution. No, I'll never tell you. In our last game, are we executing exactly how we want to execute? That's not ever going to be the case. It's just, are we mentally preparing ourselves the way we need to win games? And camp is different because you're there every day, and we're running and structuring every single minute from 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. Now, when these guys go home after practice, what are they doing? They're getting on the iPads. They're going to be watching film. They got to study. They got to prepare. They got to do all those things. It's a lot more difficult than I think people think. All right, you're trying to be a 3.0, 4.0 guy, and you got to prepare for what we're trying to get done. That leaves very small slice of the pie for anything other than school and ball. And those guys, that's the commitment they make. So that's where I want to find out, just study-wise, because we need to be better in those areas.
How have you seen Chase Core progress? He's a guy that seems like he's in line to get a role this season.
Sure.
What do you see from him in fall camp?
Yeah, well, I see him as the backup right now, and I think today was good. I thought his operation solid, but still in that backup position. You want to see that guy go. Not that he's not competing, but you got to push, and he's done a good job. But there's opportunities for him to play. So he's a guy that we just talked about, the film, the study, the preparation. You're the backup guy. You might do this all season long and never get in there. So he's got to mentally be ready for that. But I think he's got the ability to play. I think we can use him at times. I think his consistency throwing the ball has gotten better through camp. But quarterback, everybody wants the true freshman to come in. I know Fromm last year in Georgia and all that. And the opportunity. Yeah, those guys come in that they play really well. They're freshmen. It's hard. It's hard to do at the quarterback position when they're young. And, you know, if he just continues to keep working at it and continues to keep drilling it and continues to keep listening to the coaching points Coach Hill has for him, he's going to be all right. And I thought Jalen Henderson tonight too. He spins it. You know, he's just decision making. You know, go out there, quarterback position. It's always that. Make great decisions. He can spin it. He can run. He can do all those things. That's just reps and reps and reps. And that's where, you know, some of these shorter practices where these younger guys get the reps. We're trying to get the veteran guys ready just with the amount of time we have, and you know, they're missing some opportunities that way.
Based on the first 2 weeks of camp, what would you say are the strengths of the offense?
Well, I think, you know, the O-line, I think the O-line has done a good job. And right now, I think how they've been playing, that would be the strength on that side of the ball. I think Brett's played well. Alex has played well. On the defensive side, the D-line. D-line is, you know, like back and forth, right? Your iron sharpens iron with those two sides of the ball. And I think our studs and our secondary, our safeties, you know, and the corners, really that first string secondary and all that, those guys have been good. They're doing a good job communicating all the things that we want to do on defense. And we want to communicate. We want to put ourselves in the right position. We've got good edge guys right now, and I think we have good tackles as well. So those have been good battles. But those are some of the positions that have stood out. And then the specialists, I think we're punting the ball pretty well. I know nobody wants to hear that, but we're actually they've been pretty consistent with that. And then our special teams is, at least practice-wise, have done a good job.
You know, you talk about a guy like Garrett, you know, trying to get more reps. Then you have a guy like Brett, who, I mean, the guy's almost thrown 1,200 passes in his college career, and he's probably seen a lot. But what's your approach with him during fall camp, and how do you try to get him better? I mean, and how has he improved this fall camp?
Yeah, total rookie mentality. That's what our approach is. Get out your notes. All right, day one install, first play we put in the pass game is the same one you put in the last 4 years. Study it, write it down. You know, if you don't have notes in there, if you're not detailing it up, then I think that's a problem. And he has no issues with that. He's out there every rep he tries to take. I think he's trying to play a game, and that's where, you know, his habits in practice. He's elevated his game because of that. He practices differently. Not many guys will do that. Not many guys will go out there and practice like they're playing in a game. They won't go full speed. They're not going to take that simulated drop or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what position. You know, and I think if you want to take the next step and be next level in your game, that's how you go and prepare. And I think he's been doing that. And if he's not, he catches himself really quickly and gets right back into that mode. And that's mentally exhausting to do that over and over and over. And I think that takes extreme mental toughness. And he showed that through camp. I don't think that's going to change. I think we get into week 9, whether we're working through bags or somebody's throwing a ball at him, you know, hitting him on the face, whatever. I mean, he's trying to get better. So the rookie mentality, have that. About the time you don't do that, especially at quarterback, I think that's a problem.
I know you said this scrimmage was going to be one that kind of helped determine your 2D, your depth chart, whatever have you. Have you identified some of those true freshmen or some of those newcomers that you expect to be participating, you know, early in the season?
We have. I'm not going to name them, but we have. We did last week. I thought we did last week, and I thought we put those guys in a position before we went into the scrimmage to get the reps that we wanted to see from tonight. I don't think, you know, what we were working tonight, and we didn't anticipate this being a long, drawn-out scrimmage. We saw probably just on the fringe of being enough. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we'll have to fine-tune all that and then decide exactly, you know, what we're doing there. But we have a good idea of the guys who are going to play, a good idea of the guys who are going to travel, and then I think we have a pretty good handle on the ones that we want to see early with the redshirt rule and how we utilize that. And again, I told you guys this before, how many can we take? We got hotel rooms and things we got to actually pay for, and you know, there's a numbers game that way. So maybe in that home game, you know, that's kind of where some of those things change. I mean, you got to think about that too. You know, there'll be some guys maybe in some home games too that are going to be with us that we can get out there and play a little bit. It might be on teams, but let them get in there, and they got to be able to. It's not just play a guy to contribute and see what he can do. It's play to win. And so we're never going into like, hey, let's just give this guy a shot. Like, you give a guy a shot and he doesn't do it, if somebody scores, That's bad. We're not ever going into a game with that mindset. If he's ready and we feel like he can contribute and make us better, then we'll do it. And those guys all know that. If they don't take that mindset, go scout team it up, spend the next 6 months figuring it out over there and get better and get stronger and get faster, and then we'll get you ready to go in spring. Good?